Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are Bad Moms in Business, the podcast.
I'm Bridgette Robertson.
I'm Amanda Sharp.
I'm Danielle Monaghan. So today we're going to talk about having a work-life balance. We've talked about financial stuff in the past, and we've talked about working a lot. So let's talk about work-life balance, how we do that. But first, how you guys doing?
Doing good.
Honestly, speaking of work-life balance, just got back from vacation.
And I can you're tan. You look good.
Thank you so much. It's called sunburn.
Oh, that wasn't super readable until you just did that.
Yeah, this is like good compared to.
Listen, I've had this conversation with you guys.
Look burnt compared to the chest area.
My face it's better now, but my chest and my shoulders, not a great situation.
My mom mode's coming out. I talk to you guys about this all the time.
I know it.
Where's that SPF?
I know, girl.
Right.
And here's the thing. I was stupid because I thought I already got burnt once this summer. So now I've got a tan. So
we so don't have the same skin.
Bridgette Robertson.
I truly thought.
Get her.
I truly thought I already got burnt once, and I mean burnt. So, and that turned into a tan. So I'm not going to burn again. I got burnt again. Bad.
Well, you think that you just get burnt once? I'm confused.
Is that not how it works?
It's not how my skin works, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Danielle's pale, burn, pale.
Pale,
burn, pale. Repeat.
Seriously, there is no tanning. This is so bad. When I was growing up, we had a tanning bed in my basement. My mom bought a tanning bed, had a tanning bed in my basement. 10 out of 10, do not recommend. Don't do it. But I was maybe one shade darker than I am right now. Why? What's the point?
To be fair, in the early 2000s, being in a tanning bed is where it was at. You weren't nothing if you didn't tan.
Nope.
I
did
it once, and I could not get past.
I feel like something happened.
I do too.
Carry on.
I couldn't get past the image of people laying in the tanning beds naked.
That's why I did the stand ones. You don't have to touch anything. You just have to hold your hands up for 10 minutes straight.
Not me. I laid there bare naked. Didn't care.
I don't even think I can hold mine up for 10 seconds.
Yeah, but when you're 16, 17, I could do that crap all day.
And feel the burn. Feel the burn.
They had a bar up there that you could grab and stuff, but I usually didn't because ew.
Yeah, no, I just laid there. Didn't care.
That's why
do you remember the stickers that you wore in the tanning bed so that
I didn't do that. There was the Playboy bunny and stuff that girls would do.
I never did a Playboy bunny, but
I was go sit down. That's ridiculous.
It's how you like them dogs.
No,
you just had that at the ready.
And they did at the tanning salons, they would have a roll of Playboy bunny stickers.
Yep.
And you would,
so
I
trashy.
promise you, I never did a Playboy bunny, but you would put it on your stomach next to your belly button or whatever, so that when you had a bathing suit on,
everybody would know.
Everyone would know.
I haven't showed my midriff since 1995.
I never wore a bikini, except that time my dad told my mom that I shouldn't be wearing a bikini when I was 8. So that's the last time I wore one.
What episode was that you went into that in a little bit more detail? Was that the weight of it all?
It probably was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody is a bikini body. I also don't wear them, but this is what I hear on the streets.
This is what I hear on the streets. And I like my TikToks, but I've seen so many amazing TikToks to be I'm gonna wear it anyway. And they're rocking these beautiful, fun, really flattering 2-piece swimsuits. And I don't even want to call them plus size women because some of them aren't plus size.
No.
They're just saying that they are. But they look so beautiful because I just think that looks more normal than somebody who is, very, very thin, which some people are just naturally very, very thin, and that's absolutely fine. But to me, I'm that's just so that's a normal body.
Yeah.
Well, it's also, I struggle with self-confidence, especially in bathing suits and stuff like that. So I'm always trying to cover up as much as possible. But you see the ones out there who are just I don't care. I don't care at all. And you're that person is fun. They are having a good time right now. They are living their life. And then I'm over here with like which I also burn. So that we're coming full circle to that conversation. But I have like a wetsuit top.
Oh,
so
sure.
It's like the long sleeve, high neck,
Crash guard. So cute. She's so cute.
I burn.
You do.
I wore it yesterday. We were outside. Fun.
It looks like a tennis outfit almost.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
In like a halter top, but tank top, and I feel very comfortable in that. I feel like I can walk on the beach in that, and yeah, I'm jiggling a little bit, but that's okay. Like
listen,
but
who doesn't jiggle?
Is also like bouncing, so I'm like, is it the jiggle or is it the bounce? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Nobody else cares. Nobody cares.
No. Nobody cares.
No one cares. No one cares. And I mean, shoot, I don't go bathing suit shopping. So like my bathing suit is literally probably 10 years old and 4 sizes ago. So there's that.
The bathing suit that I have a couple bathing suits. I don't go shopping for them often either, but the one that I still wear, I wore when I was pregnant with Aaron.
There you go.
And it's not a maternity bathing suit. I squeezed my pregnant belly into it and I still wear it.
There you go.
So. I think pregnant people in bathing suits are adorable.
Mm-hmm. It's the cutest thing ever. So there's this girl I follow on YouTube who just did like this. She went on like a baby moon or something like that. I don't know. I didn't do anything like that. But she went to Hawaii and she was so cute with her little bump and in the bikini and stuff like that. It was so adorable.
Okay, I think pregnant bellies are adorbs. So cute, especially in swimsuits. But what else is happening? Like, what I can't say it, right? Like, what else? What else is happening, guys?
I was wondering what else was happening other than bathing suit.
Nothing.
I love your background, Danielle.
Your background looks great.
Thanks. I'm changing it up. I'm sprucing it up a little bit. I'm still not like 100% vibing with it, but we'll see. We'll get there.
What's up with the guitar in the background?
Yes.
Oh, I have mine and Brandon's back there. Super pumped about that. Need to bust those back out. You know,
when you say bust those back out, like you mean you know how to play?
Nah, not real well. Brandon does really well, but I don't.
Bridgette, I was gonna say if like all of a sudden they like just have this like band, I'm gonna go like we don't even know her.
Right.
What?
She's like, we're gonna bust these out and get the band back together. Like what?
I can play a little bit of like a Metallica song and stuff like that, but just like a tiny little bit.
You are adorable. That's fun. So maybe you can bless our audience with some reels on Instagram when you. Some
probably not
bad mom songs.
It's been a long time, so we'll get some practice in me, and then we'll work on that.
Start practicing.
Yeah. So, work-life balance.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
I'm a fan of it.
I know you are.
I take it very, very literally.
I think we have a happy medium here. I think, Danielle, you have practically none.
Yeah.
I'm somewhere in the middle, I think. I lean more towards you, Danielle, I think.
For sure you do.
And then there's Amanda, who is just like...
Party!
Which I'm so envious of.
It comes back to your boundaries. Amanda, you have fantastic boundaries. People who know you and love you know that there are certain times in the day that are like off limits. This is either family time. This is me time. This is sleep time.
Mm-hmm.
I have none of that. Mm-mm. I'm working on it, though. I'm working so hard. And I have some stats for us and some ideas for us. But
So I feel like, Bridgette, you just came out of a forced break because you went on your vacation and you did not have cell service, essentially, where you were staying. So you were kind of forced into having a little bit of a work-life balance that you were uncomfortable with. How did you fare through that vacation?
I definitely worried about the fact that I didn't have service more than I would have liked. I definitely thought about it more than I would have liked. But at the end of the day, I really was able to enjoy myself. And there were some emails and texts that I received from people who knew that I was on vacation, and I ignored them.
Well, if they knew you were on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they reached out to the appropriate people and got it figured out. But then there were some people that I didn't ignore when I had the chance to actually have service and answer. But all in all, nobody died.
Nope.
Nothing caught on fire. Nothing went unanswered. And 9 out of 10 would recommend it.
9 out of 10. I like that. I didn't catch that at first.
I was like, what did she just say? And then
okay.
Bridgette is spunky today.
She is spunky.
I mean, you're always spunky, but
she's got her hair back.
I have this new side part that I tried yesterday.
It's cute.
But I'm digging it, and I'm digging the hair in a ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I dig it.
Cute. So this is Bridgette hair pulled back post vacation.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's here for the remarks. I mean, you're normally like witty, but today like you've got some gems. I'm really digging it.
Mm-hmm.
Digging it.
All right.
So 9 out of 10, you would recommend it. All right. I like it.
I have a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
What is work-life balance to you? Like, what does it mean? How does it make you feel? What would it entail to have more of it? Or for Amanda, how do you have it? Like, what does it mean to you? Because I think it would mean something different to everybody, right?
Oh, of course.
Probably. For Amanda, I'd like to know. Yeah, I want you to go first, Amanda.
So I guess my definition is, finding a way to earn what you need to earn while not missing anything that you need to miss on a personal level.
So do you feel like when you say earn what you need to earn, you personally are like, I don't need to do that extra 3. I'm going to use just language in our business, but like, I don't need to do those extra 3 transactions that I would have lost by having less of a balance.
Absolutely.
Because I have everything I need.
And you have to be like willing to lose money. Making that decision on a daily basis for me that I'm going to have work-life balance. I'm very aware that I'm losing money because of that. And that's okay because I have enough.
And how do you do that?
How do you accept losing money?
Yes.
Right.
Well,
Yes.
see, I never really had it to begin with, so it makes it a lot easier. No, it's because I just look at, okay, is Owen more than a paycheck? Is Owen worth more than a paycheck? And that's how I judge everything in this world. I put Owen here, and then where does everything else stack up? And if that additional paycheck affects our family's lifestyle for the worse, because it makes me not be able to be as present, or it makes me not as good or as patient of a mom or a wife because a client has spent me. There are some clients that are very, very, very difficult to work with.
Yes.
And I have been very blessed that I think there's that. I know we talk in our business, it's kind of more lingo, but you have those consultations with people and you make sure you're a right fit for each other. And it's very obvious sometimes that you're not.
And sometimes it's not. Sometimes they sneak up on you. Sometimes it's like you got to get to know them before they reveal the face underneath,
Well,
and sometimes right away that you shouldn't be accepting business, and then you accept it, and then you're asking your friend to go and pull your sign out of the yard because you're afraid to go over there.
We're not speaking from experience or anything, but
people pleaser.
What we do, man. And I'm pretty sure, like I've said that type of stuff, like from beginning, you get signs very quickly, very, very quickly. And I've been very intentional from day one on how I structured my business too, where I ideally work with family and friends who are like-minded as me. So that typically allows for a very, very, very nice work environment for me and hopefully them.
You do. And I only know that you do that because sometimes Danielle and I will come with horror stories and Amanda's like, I've never experienced that.
Well, it's not even that. Sometimes you'll come up with these stories that are like literally the exact opposite of people that we're working with. I don't want to give any specific examples or anything, but like you almost to the extreme on the nice end. And I'm like,
I've
how
had
does
sellers
that happen?
counter an offer lower.
That's exactly the story I was thinking of.
Because
Exactly
they just
the story
wanted
right there.
to bless the buyer because they were just grateful. Like, what? And that's where I think when you have such intention to drive your business one direction and work in a certain way, it allows for those type of opportunities. And is that every transaction? Absolutely not. But for the most part, my intentional structure of my business has allowed for the work-life balance to come a lot more naturally than maybe somebody who is working leads that they're buying online, or they're just really, prospecting in the normal ways where I kind of prospect to my sphere of people that I already know, like, and trust.
Mm-hmm.
So let's set our business aside, because ours is so weird.
It is.
Compared to like a traditional job. Danielle, if I'm working a traditional job and I'm allotted PTO or paid time off, you have some stats there.
I do have some stats. So
are people, so what we're finding is that vacation time is being wasted?
Completely.
Okay, let's hear it.
I couldn't find anything specific for moms or women. I would be very interested to see the differences between men and women, but I couldn't find anything about that. But I found out that about 73% of employers do pay their employees vacation time. So that's a pretty high amount. Fun fact, I've never had paid vacation time in a career ever.
Really?
Yep. In 2018, this is so ridiculous, 768 million days went unused of paid vacation time in the United States in 2018.
Like unpaid, like unused and
unused, right? 768 million unused paid vacation time went completely unused.
Wow.
Yep. That equates to about $65.5 billion. And I went back to 2018. I couldn't find anything for 2019, but the stats were really off for 2020. And I was like, 2020 was such a weird year with COVID and stuff like that.
Vacation all year.
So I went back a little bit further, and that was up 9% from 2017. That's insane. Insane. And when I was reading these articles, a lot of them, you have some jobs where if you don't use your paid vacation time, they'll like give you that money at the end of the year. I should have wrote it down, but it was like 60% of employees don't give you any money for unused vacation time.
Yeah. I was very lucky at my old job where they would pay it out at the end of the year. And then they also were super generous with sick time too. If you didn't use all of your sick time within a year, it would roll over to the next year. So some people had like 4 weeks worth of sick time.
Wow.
Because they weren't using it, because they were coming to work sick, because, whatever. I find at my old job, if I had time off to use, I used every last drop of it.
It's hard for me because I didn't have it. It's hard for me to think like, would I have used it? Would I not have? I've always been such like a workaholic kind of person. And I always let my like personal life and my social life just slide because of it. I probably use it as an excuse, like, let's be honest. But like, it's hard for me to say if I would actually have used it or not. Probably not.
I would in my hardware days.
Yeah.
I had actual vacation time and personal time, and we were only allowed to carry over 2 weeks every single year. So to me, I liked having that 2-week buffer because, when you get really sick, sometimes like it takes a week or more to recover, right? So I always went into the following year with a 2-week reserve, which always gave me, peace. But I did use up everything else because I was younger. And I needed the time off. Like for me, if I was getting paid, like I was going to do it. And the doors stayed open. My absence did not stop the world from turning. And neither did yours last week, Bridgette.
And that's how I always think of things is like, well, I have to be here because if not, who else is going to do this? Who else is going to do the things that I do? And it's like, just, you're not that special. Like, seriously, somebody will do it. It's fine.
This is the thing. Everyone's replaceable. Everyone is replaceable. Who you're not replaceable to is your friends,
your family.
And the years go quickly. And I mean, no one dies saying, I wish I would have spent more time at work.
Right. I need to be better at this. So a Harvard study that was done in I should have wrote that down too. I guess it doesn't really matter. It was like 2017, 2018, something like that. A Harvard study found that 97% of moms, working or not, doesn't matter, feel guilty about their work-life balance. 97%. I don't know how they got that stat, but I mean, let's be honest, they're probably right.
Well, to be fair, even though I feel like I really rock work-life balance, I still go, there's still days that I say
there's a level of guilt.
Maybe I should have been home a little more today.
Okay, so let me come at it from the flip side.
Flip it, girl. Flip it.
Because your message to me was, or to anyone, like a paycheck's not more important than your child, which absolutely it's not. But on the flip side, especially with Owen, he's almost 15, right?
Yeah, and I just get in his way and annoy him. So
that's kind of my question. So now at this stage of life, when you're saying like, well, maybe looking back, maybe I should have spent that day home, or maybe I shouldn't have gone out on that appointment because I could have been home. But what would you have been doing at home?
Oh, and that's where, thankfully, like I have a new project.
Right.
Yeah, you do.
But I'm speaking specifically because that's more of a work project. I mean, I know it's fun.
It is because I'm in that season, as a lot of other mothers, that now I need to find a way to keep me busy so I don't suffocate my poor child. So my work balance is looking a little bit, it's getting heavier in the work because my need to be at home just looks so different.
Yeah.
So different. And so for anyone listening who's not there yet, that day will come that you're going to be having the same conversation that I'm having right now. It's going to be there. It's going to come.
And faster than you think, because when I first started in real estate, I can remember Owen was the age of Aaron, really.
Yes!
And I can remember we went on a listing appointment together, and you had said something like, yeah, I had to drop Owen off with my sister so he could do his homework and blah, blah, blah. And now, just a short amount of time later,
in a blink of an eye,
he doesn't need a sitter. He can stay home. You can go to work.
And in fact, like he now has a key to my office. So if he had to walk there, he could get in there. You know, I mean, it's just, so if I couldn't pick him up at school like I normally do, like there's even a backup plan that's totally fine. So it's just such a weird, beautiful season. Really fun season to be in, because I do celebrate his independence, because I remember what it was like to be that age, and I just loved every ounce of independence that I got. But you know, it's hard to like really digest that he's there, but it's so good at the same time. Makes me want to cry but smile.
Yeah.
Those stats though are pretty remarkable.
Say that again?
Those stats are pretty remarkable, though.
It's so crazy. So, okay, so this in the same study with the 97% of moms feel guilty. In that same study, they asked women or moms, what would help make you feel more balanced to have a better work-life balance? So, 73% said that they want more me time. 49% said that they want time to plan healthier meals and eat healthier meals.
Gosh, don't we say that all the time?
Hands down, I think those are my top two. 36% said that they need to delegate more tasks, specifically to their spouse, but just in general.
Yeah.
31% that they wanted to get control of their finances. So you guys can listen to last week's podcast episode where we talked all about that. 30% said that they need less comparison from other people on social media.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is a good one. 30% said that they need their kids to sleep better. I feel this so hard in my soul. I feel this one.
Are we still struggling with Watson and his sleep?
So yeah, it's not perfect. We're doing better. We're doing much better. He's just not a great sleeper. It doesn't matter what time he goes to bed. He will wake up at 6:30 no matter what. And I know 6:30 for Amanda, she's like, well, that's sleeping in. Is not over here.
Yeah.
With me. I'll play with him.
I wake up at 7, usually, unless he wakes me up at 6:30, so it's usually 6:30. I would like to sleep until like 7:30, maybe. That would be nice. 8 would be glorious. I mean, I used to be like a 9-10 o'clocker. So like, this is hard for me.
Yeah.
23% said that they would like a more flexible job. So they would like to try to find a different job. 22% said that they need to learn to say no, which hello.
Ooh,
that's my life over here.
That's a good one.
And 22% said that they would like their kids to do more chores.
So some of this stuff is controllable, right? Like,
yes,
you want your kids to do more chores, teach them how to do that, and enforce that.
Mm-hmm.
Seems simple enough. I know that for some of us, for chores.
So, yes. Yeah. I have a plan. I know that Watson is only 2, but I have a plan. So I bought this board. It's like a schedule board kind of thing. And you put like little smiley faces for each day of the week that they complete a certain task. Mm-hmm. And I'm buying him like cleaning toys. Mm-hmm. To make it like little brooms and vacuums and stuff like that. So he's like doing it right alongside of me. This weekend, we went to a birthday party and there was one of those, he has one too, but one of those play lawnmowers. Mm-hmm. And he was literally going up and down their yard in complete perfect lines, because of course he would, going up and down their yard. My friends are like, is he cutting the grass? Is he seriously pretending to cut the grass right now? Yeah, he is.
Those are such important lessons. I know this isn't on parenting, but those are the things kids learn by doing or watching. And I can't speak to making Owen do anything, but
we know.
But he was by my side all the time when I was doing things.
For sure.
He totally knows how to do the things. So I think it's so important that they see and learn to do life.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of this is just implementing. So teaching your kids how to unload and load the dishwasher to get that task off your list, or teaching them how to switch out laundry. I
mean, really, if you look at this entire list, so finding more me times, healthier meals, delegating tasks, taking control of your finances, comparing yourself less, getting your kids to sleep better, I guess, is a harder one. Mm-hmm. Finding a more flexible job, that might be a harder one too. Learning to say no, kids doing more chores. All of those are completely controllable. They're all controllable. You just have to make the time to figure out how to do it. And that's like probably the hardest part.
Yeah, gosh, it's like anything. Coming up with the plan is the hardest part. Or implement.
Not for me.
Implementing.
Yes. It's actually doing the task. I can come up with, you guys know me, I can come up with plans all day. Let's do it. You guys want to come up with a task? You guys want to come up with a plan? Bring it on. I will have a 2-hour conversation with you about it. You want to talk about implementing it? I'm not your guy.
And I was in Clubhouse this morning. I wasn't doing like the mod. I was just doing like it was a podcast, as I've committed to now. Yes. And some of the conversation was exactly on vacation time. And they were mentioning that some employers are actually writing up their employees for not taking their personal time.
What?
And I was like, wow. And the person who was talking about that was saying, I don't know that that's the right approach. I think the better approach is to sit them down and go, why are you not taking this? Like, what is the problem? And some companies don't have the time to figure it out. If you have 500 employees, you just make a policy. If you're going to get rid of, if you don't take it, it's there to use, stop. Like, and the thing is, they need to know either you're taking it or you're not taking it, so they can plan out their year and what payroll looks like, right? Hours and stuff.
That probably makes
replacements. So from a big picture standpoint, I can see the necessity behind implementing a policy such as that, especially coming out of the year that we've come out of. But I also thought that conversation would be worth having with employees when it's able to go, why aren't people taking it?
You know what? The only thing that I really, because like I said, I never had PTO time. This wasn't something. So the only thing I can really compare it to is what my mom went through. So my mom retired from Ford. She worked for Ford for a cajillion years. And so she had obviously paid vacation time. I have no idea how much time she was offered, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I have no clue. But when they were in heavy, most of the time for most of her 30 some years there, they were in very heavy overtime mode. My mom, we've talked about this before. My mom is fantastic with money. My mom is a definite workaholic. She just liked to work and make money. That's her thing. And so she would work 10, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, 6 days a week. And for her, taking a personal day meant she was only going to get paid 8 hours. When if she worked, she would get paid 10 or she would get paid 12. So she was like, why would I take the vacation day during a phase like this when I can take it later and it would be, an even switch?
That's fair. I think also we have to consider the fact, at least where I came from, a lot of the time, we did a PTO bid. And so it went by seniority. 1 year, a couple years, they did seniority and your performance combined, like 50-50. And you had to bid for your time off based on how long you'd been there. So if you were the highest senior
on the calendar,
yes.
Okay, for so that way only so many people could take off from this time to this time because
I see.
Yes.
Got it.
So we did bids and we would have to figure out, okay, and they were very generous with PTO. I think I came in with 2 weeks time. Okay. And by the time I left 10 years later, I had 4.5 weeks of vacation. Wow. But if you had there were people who had 5 or 6 weeks of vacation because they'd been there for 30 years. So by the time it got down to me, when I had only been there for a year, let's say, I could take off a random Tuesday, random Thursday. I wasn't getting like a Friday and a Monday. I wasn't getting the 4th of July. I wasn't getting the week of Christmas. I was getting total nonsense. And at that point, like,
why is it worth it?
Why do I want to take off Tuesday, September 4th? I don't. So when it would come around, I would cancel my vacation because I don't want that. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure a lot of people would do that.
Yeah. So maybe those are some of the reasons why people aren't taking it. And that's where asking the employees those questions, because maybe the system is broken to some degree. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I know for a specific job that I worked at for a long, long time, we were so severely understaffed because the company was just telling us you don't need more people, blah, 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 all of that, that the people who did have PTO, they felt like they couldn't take it because we just quite literally would not have survived the day without their presence being there.
Yeah.
It's just a shame.
It is a shame. And I feel like there's a lot of companies and a lot of countries who are considering like 4-day work weeks now. And I think there's something to be said about that. I think this last year showed how productive people can be.
I agree.
And so I feel like obviously it doesn't necessarily affect us. Actually, it might only make us work even more.
Probably.
Because people are going to be home more. But I think we're at a pivotal time in history that I think things are going to start to change maybe a little bit.
Well, I think about that too. That's really interesting. I didn't know that, but if people have a 3-day weekend, I think at least for a while, I think eventually if this continues, that will sort of wear off, but people will be excited about it. Monday won't be so hard for people to go back to work. And I think productivity will go up. I think, mental health will be on a rise because all of that kind of takes into effect. Like if you look at people's, mental health, like if you look at their moods on a Monday versus a Friday, it's a completely different situation. So if you know that you just have a quote unquote short work week,
absolutely,
people would be so much more productive. I guarantee it. They would probably get more accomplished in 4 days than they would in 5.
Absolutely. So I was just also talking in Clubhouse and I think I'm going to say it's Parkinson's theory. I think I'm saying this correctly, where basically if you have 2 hours to clean the house, you're going to clean it in 2 hours. Alice, can you look up Parkinson's theory? But anyway, so where if you have 30 minutes to clean the house, you're going to get it done in 30 minutes. And so I feel like that goes into the 4-day work week, that if you only have 4 days to complete what you would have completed in 5, you're going to get it done.
So Alice wrote back, she said, it's called Parkinson's law.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was close. That's 50%.
And it's the adage that work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion.
So I have this little handy dandy cube here.
Yeah, what is that?
So this goes based off of the Pomodoro technique, which is it goes along the same thing. You give yourself, you come up with whatever task you need to complete, and you give yourself a certain amount of time to really focus on it and do nothing else. No answering calls, no checking emails, whether it's 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, or you could create your own amount of time. Okay. It sets the timer underneath. You set it up and it will go off in 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes. It's fantastic. Highly recommend.
I've seen this on TikTok where people will give themselves 15 minutes to clean their kitchen at night. And then what's done is done.
Yep.
And you move on to the next thing.
And I guarantee you more got done in that 15 minutes than would have gotten done if you didn't make it.
And they'll do time-lapse videos, Amanda, of like the messiest kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they have 15 minutes and it's sparkling at the end.
Well, because you think about, sorry, go ahead, Amanda.
No, I was just saying, isn't that crazy? Like, it just is mind-boggling to me.
It really is. Like, you think of a super daunting task. Like, I hate dishes. Dishes are hands down my least favorite activity. And it's something I dread and let them pile up and pile up and pile up. Yet if I were to do something like this and get it done, it would take 5 minutes or less to do them every single day.
Yeah.
You don't realize how much you can actually get done when you are 100% like focused.
Well, and this goes back to, I think I've said this 1,000 times, maybe not on here, but certainly to you guys. I just want like a cleaning schedule to tell me on Mondays, this is what I do. On Tuesdays, I do this. On Wednesdays, I do this. So that way I'm not doing an entire house clean on
every
Tuesday.
Weekend.
Or every weekend, right?
Yeah.
On Mondays, I just know that Mondays are the days that I am going to do a deep clean on my bathrooms, and I know that Tuesday is I'm making it up because let's be honest, I don't know,
man.
And Tuesdays are going to be the days that I focus solely on vacuuming every single room in the house, and then of course, like I'm going to have to unload and load the dishwasher every day. I might have to do a load of laundry every day, but there's something to be done every single day. And then once it's done, it would take 5 minutes.
Yep.
And it's done.
I used to be very good about this. I was very diligent at my cleaning schedule. And then Watson came along, kind of threw a wrench in the system, took me a little bit of time. I refigured it out. And then I moved 3 times in a year. Yeah, and I haven't quite found my groove yet. So eventually we'll get back to it.
Well, and the thing is, have you ever timed yourself like emptying the dishwasher?
Nope.
It's stupid how quick it is.
Everything
has a home. Everything really has a home. You're just short of having to maybe dry something a little extra because it didn't quite dry the way it should have. Mm-hmm. It literally is like 2 minutes. And I'm going, oh my gosh, why is it sitting there full, ready to be unloaded?
Like mine is currently sitting full, ready to be unloaded.
Well, and remember when I sent you guys that message saying when I got home from work that day that I was like really, really tired and Owen had emptied the dishwasher for me? Yeah. Can we just like reflect on that again? Because that was
delegating tasks. Kids do more chores. Boom.
I didn't even have to ask.
Well, but even better. Even better.
Sweet. And so
I have to beg my kids every morning. Not really, but they do know it's their job.
It was just so sweet.
That is sweet.
It made me cry. It really made me cry because I had a really busy day that day.
Amanda, I want to hear what your busy is because of your work-life balance and how good you are at it. Like, what do you consider a busy day? And there's no right or wrong answer. No. Busy is busy is busy is busy. It just, everyone has busy.
So this is the thing. I can grind really hard when I have to, right?
100%.
And so part of my secret is I am an early riser, always have been. I'm not judging anyone who is a late nighter. I'm just not that. Where a lot of people can do what I do in the morning and the evenings, where I wake up and I'm doing my emails, everything that I need to do, and no one's distracting me. So what might take someone else 2, 3, or 4 hours to do, I can knock out in an hour. Because I'm undisturbed. I let out the dogs, I make my coffee, I get them fed, and I sit down and my head is in my computer, like doing my real estate work at that time. And so it traditionally would have taken me much longer. So it's just that I expedite what I'm doing because of when I'm doing it, if that makes sense. So that's like really the secret to getting everything that I need to do. And then all I'm taking is like calls and stuff throughout the day, which I can do other things while I'm talking on the phone. Best thing was, I don't have anything fancy, but the best thing ever was when I went on Clubhouse, I started using my headphones. And it took that to allow me to use my headphones. And other people have cool headpieces or their thingamabobs, AirPods or whatever. But
those things,
those air things. And so if I can actually talk on the phone while this is in my head and actually doing other things as opposed to holding it up to my ear, that was life-changing for me too. So now I can get even more done when I'm doing stuff like that. So you would think I work really hard, and I do. But I also, because I work so efficiently, it allows me for some extra time to like do podcasting or have a cup of coffee with people or bother my child.
I think that's part of my problem is, first of all, I think things take up a lot of, sorry, my husband is making very loud noises in case anybody heard that. I think one of my biggest issues is things take up a lot of mental clutter for me. So like if I know I have to do this and this and this and clean this and this and this and call this and this and this person, it like weighs on me a lot, which is why I'm a big, advocate of lists and stuff. But I also don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm so efficient at my time. And then I go through really long phases where I just let it kind of bog me down. Like the weight of everything just sort of crushes down on me. And it's so hard to like climb up out of that.
Well, and I feel like for me, what I've done, and our sweet, sweet, amazing friend Joe taught me kind of how to, I was naturally good at work-life balance, but I think he gave me the confidence to be like, I'm entitled to this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I'll forever be grateful for Joe. I mean, what's not to be? He's just amazing. And he just had a birthday.
Yes, he did just have a birthday.
Oh, see, I missed it because I was on vacation.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Son of a belated. But we just adore him. And he was very good at saying, like, there's no reason you can't make calls between 9 and 10 and then make calls between 3 and 4. Like, why do you have to necessarily like take calls and answer texts all day long? You just can't, because then you can never get anything done. And I'm not that extreme.
Yeah.
But like, I'll make sure I make all my calls starting at, I know my clients typically and the agents, like typically I can start at 8 because I know that they're also early risers as well.
This is why I don't work for your brokerage. You're not calling me.
And I don't. I might Facebook message you at 5, but that's a whole different thing. But
I don't start my calls until 9. 9 is the earliest.
9 is what I call too.
Well, and a lot of times, like my clients are reaching out to me at that time too. So it's just, again, like we have it's just a good fit. And then I usually around noon, we'll take a break, knock out things. And that's not to say I won't take a call if I can take a call.
Oh, for sure.
But if I'm knee deep into something else that requires my attention, I allow myself that permission.
And I struggle with that. It's funny because literally as we sat down today to record, I got a call from someone who I've been waiting for his call.
Naturally.
And I didn't tell you guys, hang on a second, I have to take this. I let him go to voicemail and I sent him a message that said, I'm in a meeting until 2:30 and I'll call you as soon as I can. Who am I?
And Bridgette's over here like,
yeah. I'm looking at the time like
look at me, stable as a table. My mom.
I know, you're so good at it. this is definitely something that I'm glad we're talking about, because I need to work on this for my mental sanity. Having a 2-year-old is very hard. Very,
Yes.
very, very hard. Okay. Both of us, both me and Brandon, doing the same thing, both working from home, both moving. Literally, we've moved 3 times in a year. That is not an exaggeration for anybody who does not know that. We moved in
October.
We moved in October for the first time, and then again in January, and then I don't know what. So it's July. We moved in the end of last month. No, that would have just been a couple of days ago. So like the end of May. I don't know. We still aren't unpacked.
It's just not displaced for over a year. Let's just call it what
it's been so hard. Like I have a stack of things just piled up next to me, a stack of things over here in boxes that need to find a home somewhere in this office. And it's so hard. Like I'm a big guilty feeling person. I have felt guilt my whole life about everything. This is what I do. This is like one of my like 5 main emotions that I have in my life is guilt. And, you know, when I'm playing with Watson, I feel guilty that I'm not working. When I'm working, I feel guilty that I'm not playing with Watson, or that I'm not unpacking or getting things organized at home. Like there's always something for me to like constantly pull me, like the me time, the more me time. What's that? I don't have that.
Which we've done episodes on the importance of that.
We have. And, you know, for me, I always think, well, my me time is at 9:30 when my kids are in bed and my husband's sleeping in the chair. That's my me time. But really, like, is that fair to do to myself? Like you can have me time, which is reading a book or playing on your phone or whatever. And while you're trying not to fall asleep, like,
right.
So you've made your me time leftover time.
100%.
And that's not intentional time for you. That's like, I wouldn't call that you time. I call that relaxing time and resetting because you're winding down from a day. That's not you time. I mean,
at the same token, I should say that for some people, some of my days might look like it's all me time. I'm swimming with my neighbors and our families, or I'm getting my nails done, which I don't really do anymore, you know, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I would say that personally, I probably have more quote unquote me time than say my husband does, because he works a traditional job. I think we have to consider that as well. Like the it's not just work life as in my life, it's work and family balance, because I should also be making time for my husband to have time to do what he wants to do.
Elizabeth Hasselbeck, when she stepped away from Fox News.
That name sounds familiar, but I can't.
She was on The View for a long time, and then she also was on Survivor.
She was the little blonde, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when she stepped away from Fox News, of course, there's always stuff behind the scenes that led up to people's decisions that you don't necessarily talk about, right? But her statement that she said just was so, like, I love the way she said it. She's like, it's time for me to give my family the best of me, not the rest of me. And I just thought that was so, so powerful, because I think so many people give their family the rest of them as opposed to the best of them. And really the priority should be flipped. And I think that is such a powerful statement. And the thing is, if you say this is your priority, A, B, and C are your priorities, and everything you're doing doesn't actually make it appear that those are your priorities, then are they really your priorities? You're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
To make yourself feel better. And if you want to, then you really need to reset and really be unforgiving about those priorities not coming second. And I'm not saying there's not the occasional thing you have to miss or whatever the case may be. I mean, it would be unrealistic to think that you're always going to be able to be present for your family 100% of the time. That's not what I'm saying. But the majority of the time, if you're saying that your family is your priority, but all of your actions are speaking otherwise, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
And I think something about the me time thing too is, I think it depends on how you want to spend your me time. So like an outsider looking in may say to me, oh, you have plenty of enough me time when your son goes to bed and you sit there zoning out in front of the TV. And I totally do that. I just need to decompress, and I don't I think I need to find better ways. And the sad part is I know the better ways. I know what makes me feel better. It's just hard to kind of get that kind of momentum of getting up and journaling, doing yoga, having some tea while you're reading a book, all of those things. I feel like that would be the me time that I would prefer to do, as opposed to just like zoning out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and I also think it's important that if you set up the expectation, that helps with the priorities and the balance as well. I speak very openly about, Tuesdays are podcasting time between this time and this time, that if anyone reaches out to me during this time, I'm not going to be able to pick up. Like I throw it all out there so people understand that it's not that I'm avoiding them. It's just I have other things at that time. And to me, my me time is doing this podcast.
I do love this.
Is doing other things. So for me, like I'm not unforgiving that I love to do this. And daggone it, 12:30 on Tuesdays, I'm here.
And my problem is I'm the same way. I have it blocked out, and very rarely have we ever had to shift. I think we've been doing almost. This is episode 40 something.
40, yeah, something.
And I think we've moved our recording date one time, maybe twice.
Did we actually move it, or did we just shift the time? I feel like it was. That's reasonable shift.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I recorded while I had COVID.
Still feel
sorry about that.
Few episodes.
Our bad.
No, I thought you took we did tell you to take one off, and we did use an emergency. So maybe
you're right. You're right. That's fair. No, and
I do remember you ending, like, after we ended, she's like, I really need to go lay down.
I felt so bad. That was a mistake.
Sorry about
I'm just joking. No, but the only reason I even brought that up is because you're right. Like, I have been able to successfully set this boundary that Tuesdays between 12:30 and 2:30. That's it.
Yep.
But ask me to set another one, and
But you know what? But we set up the expectation of, like, this is what we need for this. This is the commitment that we can all contribute, and we show up. And I think we're getting wiser, and that making Bridgette do the COVID we it helped us business plan a little bit differently for our podcast. That now we have emergency ones and backup ones, and we're ahead. So it really allowed us to take a bigger look at our podcast, and now we're really excited about some moves and shifts that we're going to be doing that will allow us some even more flexibility, which I'm super excited for.
Right.
And the boys are super excited for it too.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
And it's kind of like doubling down. Like, when I wake up early, I can double down because of what I've set up for that morning. And we're just doing that, but within our time frame during our normal Tuesdays. And so I'm super excited about that ourselves. It makes you go, why didn't we do that from the beginning?
I know.
I don't know, but we were learning. We didn't know how this was going to go. We just had to kind of create our own landscape. One thing I wanted to tag on to that too is, for me personally, I think it's easier for me to set that boundary of Tuesdays. It's this time to this time, like, can't be bothered between that, is because of you guys.
Yes.
It's that added accountability that
100%.
I need. If this was just a one-man show, if I was just here by myself doing a podcast, I would skip all of the time.
Yep.
Because it's so easy for me to let myself down.
I 100% agree.
I need this. I need you guys there telling me, no, we're doing this.
It would be different if it was just one other person. I think the fact that there's three of us.
I agree.
Yeah, and especially Danielle, if it was me.
I was just about to say that. If this was me and you, this would be done.
We would have had 2 episodes. The first one would have been great. And then the second one, we'd be like, you guys, you know what? It turns out we just don't have time for this.
We needed an Amanda in our life to keep us on track.
Yes. And even Amanda, when I was on vacation and you had posted a comment on one of the pictures, like, I can't remember what it said. I love seeing these pictures or something like that. I knew what you meant was, I love that you're on vacation with your family, spending that time. So you're right. It is the fact that we're held accountable to other people to make this time a priority. But why is it that I feel like you guys are holding me accountable to set Tuesdays aside. But when it comes to disappointing other people, I'm like, it's okay. My husband will take the kids to karate and it's totally going to be okay.
Your family is an extension of you. 100%.
Yeah.
I will let Brandon down all day, every day, just like I'll let myself down. Yep. It's just the nature of the beast.
And that goes to that saying, though, like, why do we give the world the best of us and give the ones we love and treasure the most the rest of us? It doesn't make sense. So I encourage everyone to really just analyze their priorities and really make small changes to move you in the direction to really like support them being your priorities. Mm-hmm. You can't say they're your priorities and not act like it.
It's kind of what we talked about on the last episode too, when I think Amanda, you brought it up of choose your hard.
Choose your hard. Yeah.
I really, really, really like that. Mm-hmm. Having, no social life is hard, and having, no work-life balance is hard, but having, too much swing the other way, and not working enough is hard. Like, you just have to find what your hard is and figure out what's really most important to you.
I think that's fair. And I think that there's middle ground to be covered somewhere.
100%.
Right? Like, yep. Amanda, you're okay with having exactly what you need to survive.
Yep.
And that is wonderful.
And
I am not. I'm constantly like, there's more. And I need to be able to find the middle.
And I think we've always discussed too, like I should be, and I feel like I need to be a little bit not so laid back about it. But I really can't quite get past like, I'm alive today, I might be dead tomorrow. like, you know what I mean? I would rather live today very well and then worry about the future, because we're not guaranteed a future.
I think I was just raised so different than that. Like, I think about the past quite a bit, because I'm always like, oh, I should have said that. Like, I'm one of those type of people, but I'm such a future thinker, and I'm such a worrier, and I'm such a planner. And I think, for at least as far as work goes, so my mom is a big workaholic. My grandma was a big workaholic, but they both were in situations where they found themselves alone. Mm-hmm. And not super financially stable. So like, they were like, never happening again. And they've both kind of like instilled that in me. And I think that's why, like, it's also, American culture, I guess, is more. So like, you work to make more money, to buy more things, to work more, to buy more. Like, it's like a constant struggle. So I think working all of the time for me is just a comfort level at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I overeat because it's comfortable. Like, I just,
Same.
I mean, again, choose your hard. Your hard. And I mean, my day to day doesn't feel hard. The future looks hard, but I'm a hard worker. And even
you are.
I don't think I'm ever going to be able to have idle hands regardless. And I think there's a little bit of a piece that comes to me knowing, like, even if I was financially secure, I would probably work until I died anyway. So there's that.
That's fair. You are a very busy type of person. I don't know that I've ever known you to just chill.
But that is kind of my chilling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you find like tranquility in
creating and
in projects, in creating. Yeah, all of that. Painting.
Yes. I can't wait to show you guys what I made.
I'm like, I need to read a book and do yoga because my brain is too busy all the time.
Yeah, that's my thing too. My brain is always going. And so sometimes I need to just sit down and zone out.
That's been my TV lately. It's a terrible thing, but I just zone out because I don't have to think about the millions of other things. I can just focus. That's why I fall asleep watching Friends.
There you go. I that's why I stay busy, because if I let my mind turn idle too, it goes into places that it shouldn't. It has no business. Like, get out of here, brain. So that's where I try to keep my mind and hands busy. And I've talked about like the sound of silence is deafening to me. Like, it's so hard for me to have silence. And so I always have some sort of conversation going, music going, the TV going, because I cannot be alone in my own thoughts. I do worry a lot. And so I intentionally keep my brain busy so I don't worry as much.
That's fair. I do the same thing.
Where you yoga it?
I try so hard, and I go in waves with it. And right now I am not in the wave with it, and I need to be. Like, I love meditating, and I feel fantastic when I do it consistently. So why don't I do it consistently?
But you know what? This is what I do. So I don't meditate, but I'll go on my deck and sit out there in the morning and just drink my coffee and go, like, it's not meditating, but is it? Maybe it is.
This new house that we have has a like a private deck off of the master, and that's going to be. We haven't done anything here, but that's going to be. We just bought chairs yesterday, and once those get delivered, I'm going to put those up there. And we sounds so extra. This sounds so crazy. So we have a Keurig, our very old Keurig that we've had for, I don't even know, 10 years. Not really. But we've had a Keurig for a very long time. And last year we bought an espresso machine. And so we're moving the Keurig upstairs, and I have a second electric tea kettle that I'm moving upstairs so I can like have my coffee, have my tea, and we can sit out on the little deck up there and just
that sounds bad. You know what? After the year that you've had last year, you deserve that electric tea kettle and that Keurig up there and those chairs. Yep. I think, yes, you chair it up, girl. Be extra.
I need it.
There ain't nothing wrong with being extra.
And I hate that though, because I don't want to be extra. Like, my bookshelves will not let you know this at all, but like, I so desperately would like to be a minimalist. Like, this is my ultimate goal in life. And I also bought a second yoga mat because I am also a little bit of a germaphobe, and I want to do yoga out on that deck, but I can't use the same yoga mat that I'm going to use inside on my carpet. So I had to buy a second yoga mat for an outside yoga mat.
Fair.
But I'm pumped about that too.
Hey, so I don't wear my shoes inside for the very reasons. I take them off. Mm-hmm. It grosses me out when people wear their shoes in their house. I'm like,
me too.
Stuff we step in.
We did this until we had Watson, and we started to change things around.
Yeah. You were inside shoe wearers?
You think you know somebody.
I know. As I just said that I was a germaphobe, right? Yeah.
That's like,
heck no.
Okay. Alice, if you can put in the show notes that Danielle revealed a truth bomb at the end of this episode.
Reveal.
I don't know if I can handle this.
I know, it's so bad. So we have not done it here.
I knew you at that time.
Yep. This is true. Oh
my gosh.
Until Watson
I was in your house at that time,
walking
around in nice socks.
To be fair, I don't think you came over until Watson was born.
I don't think
so. We had everything redone. Everything was good. I wasn't going to let my baby crawl around on nasty floors. But to me, okay, here's my issue. To me, I have dogs. And
I put the dogs out of, like, I know where you're going with that. Mm-hmm. Sorry to interrupt you.
No.
And I think about that once in a while too. I'll let them in and I'm like, well, you were just walking around and God knows what.
But your yard stuff.
I know. That's the biggest difference.
Not parking lots where people have peed and puked. And
what kind of parking lots do you hang out in?
Cool.
Listen, I've seen someone pee in a parking lot before, and I've seen several people puke in one. And can't say I haven't puked in one because I get car sick. So there's
not even a fun story to it. It's just I got car sick.
I don't think I've ever puked in a parking lot. That's never happened.
I have
several bags in my center console just in case.
Even when you drive, or is it just when somebody else drives?
Even when I drive.
Wow.
You need some Dramamine on like tap.
Have you tried those wristbands with like the acupuncture?
Does nothing. It's just such a severe case. And honestly, when I was pregnant, like it was the best that it ever had been. It's so weird.
Really?
Yeah, like my pregnancy like really like caused my body to act right.
You've said that before. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. But Dramamine is my friend. But if I don't take 2, like it ain't cutting it. It's not even taking the edge off, which then makes me very drowsy because medicine and me just isn't always like a good combination together. So it's complicated, but that's why I have bags in my center console regardless, and why I've peaked at a parking lot before.
Wow, that sucks.
There's that.
It wouldn't be an episode of Bad Moms in Business if we didn't go on a complete tangent about something that has nothing to do with what we discussed.
It's true.
That's right.
So to sum up, work-life balance is important and we should all work on it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, your stats show that we should all work on it. Nobody's got it figured out.
Nope. Amanda's pretty close though.
3% of the population apparently has it figured out, according to that Harvard study.
Yeah, for Amanda, for as much as you have this figured out, and then you still feel guilt from time to time too. I'm like, is it even 97%? Like, who are these 3%?
That's because Bridgette would laugh at me for the guilt I felt. Like, it's nonsense.
I did laugh at you.
Yes, it's nonsense guilt. But I think every good mom has some sense of guilt. And I know I show up daily. Like, I know that for a fact. I mean, I'm physically here showing up. So it's silly and nonsense to think that I have guilt. But I just think it's just what moms do. So 97 seems extremely high. And I'm honestly surprised it's not higher.
I know, right? Let's find one of these 3% non-guilty feeling moms. Let's talk to her.
Yeah.
I love it. I have a B, you guys.
Ooh.
Let's do it.
Be balanced.
Oh.
Be balanced.
I love it. I got like my crystals back there and stuff. I'm all about it.
Is that a good B? That's good.
That's a good B. That candle right where my hands right there actually says balance on it. So I like it.
So it's really hard doing this. Like you just did. Like
it is.
You have to like find it. Like it's like, where's the S? Like it's not easy. I like it. And
Be
that's
balanced.
a fun episode. I think hopefully people will take away that they should at least analyze their work-life balance. And if they're happy with it, they're happy with it. But if they feel like it's a little heavy in one area that they're not happy with, there are definitely some things that you can do to start shifting the balance a little bit closer to where you want it to be.
Yeah.
100%.
Baby steps.
Let us know where you fall on the spectrum. Let us know if you have any cool tips that weren't already mentioned to kind of help create that balance. And
And if you need anyone to smack it out of you that you deserve work-life balance, come to Mama Amanda. I got you.
Yeah. And if you want someone who will enable you, come see myself or Danielle.
yeah, that's what we do here.
That's what makes it work.
And if you need help creating a plan for anything, I'm your guy for that. But execution,
Just don't ask her to help you implement it.
You need to find somebody else for that.
There you go. We're full service.
Not to brag or anything.
We are the complete package. Is what they say.
That's why we work. Well, any final thoughts, ladies, before we close this episode down?
Be balanced.
Be balanced. Be cool.
I love it. Well, we will see you next week for another Bad Moms in Business.
Bye.
Bye, guys.